play. The show that you grew up listening to is still somehow on the air. You'd hope they both be long gone by now, but guess what? Life's not fair. It's still Dave and Darren in the morning on Planet 93.9.
Darren, a wedding is a special day, and you plan for it like nobody's business. Every detail is planned for, but sometimes I think you'll find, as with anything that you try and plan,
right,
things go wrong.
Uh-oh.
And it's time for...
Things go wrong. Things go wrong.
Things Go Wrong, the wedding edition. Were you at the wedding with was a colleague of ours back at the old place where his mom got on the microphone and let everyone know that she did not think the wedding was a good idea?
No, thankfully, I made the wise decision. Well, I'm sure I wasn't invited, and I would not have attended.
Yeah, the mom got on the microphone and was saying how this whole thing was a
bad
ruse.
idea.
It was a joke, and
She turned out to be right.
she was. I don't think they were married very long at all, but it was super cringe.
I bet you were loving it.
I did too.
But then didn't she start taking? She started taking shots like at you.
No, at all of us. She just that her husband and her had worked so hard to put him through good schools, and the thanks that he got was to become a radio DJ.
Oh boy,
and like it wasn't. She wasn't being funny about it. Like she was not happy that this was the life he chose. And now there's this wedding, whatever this is. It's like, oh, this is so cringe. That's probably the worst thing I've ever seen at a wedding.
Yeah, but I thought you've been to weddings that you just didn't care for at all. Weren't there? I mean,
didn't care for it all.
Haven't you been to a bunch of dry weddings?
No, I don't go to dry weddings.
Okay.
No, that's a policy. That's a absolute no.
Yeah.
And when no, that's not happening. The very first miracle, those of us who believe is, as Jesus announces himself as our Messiah, he turns water into wine at a wedding. And you're saying I can't drink at your wedding because Jesus? Read the book. No, you've made me mad. I've been invited to dry weddings and said absolutely not. Send a card with our best wishes. No. These weddings are far worse than anything I've ever seen. People sharing the worst weddings of all time that they've been to. They get progressively worse, and I will tell you that the one at the end, hold on to your cat.
Uh-oh.
Mom of the groom made it clear she did not approve of the wedding and ruined every moment whenever she had an opportunity. The first dance was between the groom and his mom.
That's the first dance? Nice.
The speech was about the groom and his mom, not the couple. And mom broke out into song with him on the microphone multiple times throughout the evening. They're doing duets? The icing on the cake was that some of us stayed to help clean up as it was a backyard wedding at a lake house, while the groom and his immediate family went for a boat ride without the bride. It was so awkward to be there and witness the clear family dynamic. Ugh.
Not great.
No.
I don't know how you turn that one around.
Yeah, it doesn't say if they're still together. Yeah. I can't imagine.
Every holiday, can you imagine?
This one says, the groom fainted.
You don't want that.
After being revived, he vomited all over himself.
Oh, no.
Not great, Bob.
I was just trying to, I was trying to be cool, trying to hold it together. How'd you do? Not great.
He had to be cleaned up, changed, and medicated.
Oh, God.
Come to find out, he and his groomsmen had partied the night before and had a terrible hangover. The other 8 guys must have had hollow legs because they all seem fit as a fiddle.
Yeah.
The wedding continued after this long delay, and the happy couple is still together to this day. Well, that's nice.
Yeah, I bet she doesn't hold that over him.
This one says, father of the groom knocked out the groom for confronting him for
I'll knock you out.
Father of the groom knocking out the groom for confronting him for having sex with his wife-to-be for several months before the wedding. It was some real Jerry Springer stuff.
Oh, man.
Then all the groomsmen were fighting with some of the guests and the father, which turned out to be quite the brawl, with the police showing up at the end. They postponed the wedding. Needless to say, it was pretty hilarious. Not awful for me at all. I'm remembering now the wedding that I think you're talking about. And it would have been the last one that I got suckered into going to, where we went down and there was absolutely no air conditioning.
That's right. That
in
was
a
one.
barn wedding.
That was one of them.
There was no air conditioning except for the wedding party.
Yeah.
They got to go in a separate room with air conditioning,
Yeah.
and we all just sweated in this barn.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Yeah. We hit
you
the
have
road.
one with like a
hit the road
teepee?
pretty quick.
Wasn't there one with a teepee or something?
I don't remember that. A teepee. That I would remember. Maybe.
That's right. You did have one where there was a
Yeah, that was the last one where we
hot box.
Yeah, we're in Tennessee in a hot box, and then like all of the elderly family members are passing out. We left in a hurry just as the ambulances started to show up.
That's right. The ambulances were coming down the long gravel road, and
Middle of nowhere.
and wasn't it like a college roommate that your wife hadn't seen in like 30 years?
Yeah, that's right.
You had no business there to begin with.
That's right. And then like we sat at a table with these people who wanted nothing to do with us.
Yeah, they wouldn't even.
And then we got up to leave, and they're like, "Where do you think you're going? We don't want to be here.
We're leaving.
I'm leaving. We don't know you people. Why are we here?" Yeah, that's right. That's right. How about this one? At my brother-in-law's wedding, the Harry Potter-style owl took a dump on the bride's dress. And her sister's drug-dealing boyfriend was off his face, loudly calling the groom's sexuality into question during the meal and the speeches. About 3 months later, they were all separated after it transpired that the bride was stealing from him and his family for her own drug habit. Oof. That owl might have had the right idea, it says here. This one's a little confusing. Big 80s vibe wedding, but it was in the 90s. Big hair and giant hoop-like dresses on
We're nostalgic from 7 or 8 years ago.
Big hair and giant hoop-like dresses on the big army of bridesmaids were really shocking, with each having a different pastel color. The bride had just arrived at the altar and whispered something to the officiant. A tiny boombox started playing "We Are the Champions." The groom looked concerned. The bride grinned and said something we couldn't make out. Suddenly, all the lined-up pastel maidens lifted their skirts. There were like 8 of them. And from under the skirts scampered a bunch of little kids and toddlers dressed in the same pastel color as the skirt they came out of.
Wow, quite a production.
Saying all hell broke loose at this point would be an understatement. Long story short, it was the bride's inside joke, which was never explained. The groom didn't know the bride aspired to be viral before that was a thing. They stayed married about 4 years. I have been invited to her 3 subsequent weddings.
She's on her 4th?
Things go wrong. This one's short and sweet. Someone proposed during the toast. I saw that once when I was younger, and her response was, "You son of a bitch," and she walked out. It turned out they were already engaged. He only did the proposal to upstage his cousin.
So who cussed him out?
His fiance. He proposed to someone he was already engaged to make a big scene and upstage his cousin at his wedding. And then
I
finally...
mean, other people had to be mad too.
Yeah, what are you doing? Finally, this next one, I'm going to issue the patented Dave and Darren warning. Please, ladies and gentlemen, Dave and Darren, we beseech you, hold on to your cat. Uh-huh. This one takes some turns.
Okay.
Begins, I used to bartend weddings. I once bartended at what might have been the single worst wedding in human history. It was a Wednesday in August. Not a great start already.
Yeah, right.
The groom had just gotten deployment orders, so they decided to rush the wedding midweek, which meant basically nobody involved had time to plan anything properly. Their big financial strategy was, let's save money on the wedding so we can spend big on the honeymoon. So instead of hiring a caterer, they had various relatives cook the food. Now, this is a key detail. The kitchen they used was 2 hours away from the venue.
So everyone got sick, huh?
In August, with no refrigeration. Family members just showing up with random casseroles, crock pots, foil trays, just whatever they made. It looked like a potluck designed by chaos itself. But sitting right in the middle of the buffet was this big tray of something called seafood rice.
Okay. Uh-oh.
I already don't love this.
Uh-huh.
No. Seafood rice, ladies and gentlemen.
And then you get deployed after that.
You just go ahead and shoot me.
Exactly.
Right in the middle of the buffet was this big tray of something called seafood rice, and the smell wasn't great. But weddings are weird,
Yeah.
so nobody questioned it. The venue itself was a gorgeous 5,000 square foot barn with bathrooms built into the framed walls. Everything was pine wood, beautifully finished. I'm behind the bar watching the crowd, and about an hour in, I start noticing people acting really strange.
It's the seafood rice.
Not drunk.
No.
Not drunk. Strange. More like something is wrong with their internal organs strange.
No.
People were sweating, pacing, disappearing toward the bathroom. Then I noticed water seeping out from under the bathroom wall. At first, I assumed a pipe had burst, but the water kept coming. Turns out the venue had low-flow water-saving toilets, and people were simultaneously vomiting and experiencing other catastrophic digestive events faster than the toilets could flush.
People throwing up at the same time in the same toilet.
The toilets clogged. They overflowed. They filled the floor drains. The liquid started spreading across the barn floor. Now combine that smell with the August heat, and suddenly a new thing happened. Everyone who smelled it started vomiting too, like it was a domino effect. Guests were slipping around. People were gagging. Someone yelled for paper towels that were absolutely not going to help. At this point, we realized this was not alcohol. This was food poisoning. So we checked the buffet. The seafood rice had been sitting out all afternoon after a 2-hour car ride in the heat. When we lifted the lid, the smell of ammonia was so strong it nearly knocked us over. That tray had basically become a biological weapon. Most of the adults had eaten the seafood rice, which explained why all the adults were violently ill. Meanwhile, the children, who had all refused to eat seafood rice, were perfectly fine.
Right.
So while the adults were fighting for their lives in the bathroom apocalypse, the kids had basically become feral.
Bet they had.
Some were riding on the interior pine walls of the barn. Others were throwing their clothing into the decorative water feature. One group of kids apparently started small fires outside the barn. An absolute Lord of the Flies situation. At one point, I'm the DJ, mind you. At one point, the venue owners pulled me aside and said, "Flip the breaker." So we shut off power to the whole barn, lights out, music dies.
Is that a good idea?
Total chaos.
Is that a good idea?
And then I made the announcement, "Ladies and gentlemen, the venue is now closed." 3 ambulances showed up. Guests were being hauled out. The bride's ride home got sick, so she ended up driving herself home in her wedding dress. On her way home, the bride in her wedding dress got pulled over and arrested for DUI. This was unfortunately DUI number 3 for the bride, turning it into a felony, and now she was legally unable to leave the country, and their elaborate 2-week honeymoon in Dubai, that had now been canceled. So to recap, food poisoning, bathroom flood, vomiting chain reaction, ambulances, children committing arson, power shutdown, the bride arrested in her wedding dress, and that is the worst wedding I have ever attended.
Yeah, I don't know how you top that one.
You know, you win. Congratulations. Worst wedding of all time.
Dave and Darren in the morning on locally owned, fiercely independent Planet 93.9.
I got a hankering for a Florida story, if you don't mind. I'm going to state something that should be obvious, and you'll probably make fun of me for pointing this out, but when your car breaks down on the road, you call a tow truck.
You're going to need help from somebody.
But what happens when you are out in the ocean and you have difficulties with your boat? Well, that's where a sea tow comes into play.
Is that something that you would be interested in doing?
Being a sea tow captain?
Yes.
I think right now, I won't lie, there is some interest in being a sea tow captain. That's helping people out when they really need the help. I have been
to a degree. I mean, you obviously you're not going to be tugging the Titanic.
No. I have been in a position where I've been out miles away from shore. Get in the water, boys! And our boat stopped working. And we had to get towed.
And your dad kept a very level head.
He just kept screaming, "We're dead in the water!"
Oh, he screamed it more than once?
Well, yeah, we were like 7 miles out. And
so that was his call for help?
Yes. My dad would just scream at the top of his lungs, hoping someone would hear us out in the vast emptiness that is Lake Michigan.
To use?
Well, we did get towed eventually.
By who?
Just some other boaters.
See, that could be.
Yeah, back when I had my misadventure as a child, we didn't have, well, I guess we had a radio. Yeah.
Gotta have a radio.
Yeah, there was a radio.
You're gonna go 7 miles out.
There was a radio. Why didn't he use the radio? Anyway, my dad yelled out of the water, and these other people came and they towed us back in. So that was.
Did he keep yelling? How close? When did he stop yelling? I mean, they're like
he's 83 and he hasn't stopped yelling. So I don't know what to tell you. I'd love to tell you that the screaming and shouting only took place during misadventures in the high seas.
No, I understand he might have been yelling about other things, but I'm just saying about by the time that the other boaters had you hooked up, was he done screaming dead in the water?
I believe so, yes.
Okay,
there was no need to keep screaming it.
And how much banquet chicken was still left?
Long gone.
Already gone?
Long gone. It was at the bottom of the lake.
No.
This Florida story comes to us from, there you go, a little tuning fork there. Collier County, Florida. A dramatic incident unfolded off the coast of Marco Island.
Not Marco Island.
When a sea tow captain responded to a vessel fire and rescued a person.
There you go.
See, again, this is my dream, to be more of service to humanity.
That's right.
To rescue someone from their burning boat.
And what did you
and
say?
bring them back to shore.
And what were you going to... Originally, it was with a metal detector.
Yes.
And then what was it yesterday that you said might...
I think I might like to be a beekeeper.
A beekeeper.
But a beekeeper who does, like, when there's problematic bees. I don't want to.
You're not a honey maker.
No, that's none of my business. Although
But
there will be honey to harvest.
But if you're in trouble, call Dave's sticky situation.
Exactly.
And he'll take care of it.
Right. When there's a swarm of bees at your house
that you need, and you don't have any wall spray.
It's so sticky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I come and I DB your house. I'll take care.
What if someone had like a beehive on their boat?
Oh,
here you come.
Well, and now you're helping. According to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, the sea tow captain responds to a vessel fire and rescues a person. Once the rescued individual was aboard the sea tow, an altercation ensued, resulting in the captain being ejected into the water.
Oh, there's always that chance.
Well,
I'm not going to lie to you.
I didn't sign up.
It's possible.
I didn't sign up for this. Mark me down as being now far less interested in being a sea tow captain. This is the thanks I get? Bring on the bees. This I can handle. The bees aren't going to throw me overboard. The person then fled.
If there are enough bees to pick you up and throw you out of a boat, you've got bigger problems.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. So there's an altercation between the rescued party and the sea tow captain.
That's why you always have your water wings on.
The person then who threw the sea tow captain off the vessel fled with said vessel.
Yeah, I'm going to commandeer this boat.
Prompting a multi-agency search. The captain was eventually rescued from the water. Authorities later located the suspect separately from the stolen vessel and took him into custody. The investigation remains active.
What about the burning boat?
Hey,
I'll just make an insurance claim on that one.
What are we doing here? This is the thanks I get for saving you from a burning boat? Oh gosh, he was rescued from the water. So
I'm trying to help people from the lakes of northern Canada
to the Gulf of Mexico.
To the Gulf of Mexico. And this is the thanks I get.
This happened at 7:16 on Friday night in the 10,000 Islands area there off Marco Island.
Did the guy in the burning boat think he was missing happy hour? I'm sorry, Captain, but there's only one way I make this.
It's double bubble at the Funky Monkey. I gotta go.
Sorry.
Listen, Salty's only does the double bubble until 8. I don't have time for this.
I gotta get to Hong Kong Fooey's in New Denver.
Full speed ahead.
They're giving away iPads and free lobster.
The sea tow captain did successfully rescue the boater, one Ryan Dieter, and a dog from the burning boat. However, while waiting for law enforcement, Dieter is accused of pushing the captain overboard and fleeing in the $100,000 vessel.
Gosh.
The captain found in the water.
It's like a Hitchcock movie.
It really is. A sheriff's helicopter was able to locate the guy who's alleged to have stolen the boat, Dieter, Would it surprise you to find out that when they located him, he was naked in the mangroves along Snook's Channel?
I don't feel great about the dog.
Witnesses say they've never seen anything like this before. He's naked in the mangroves.
If that is the sort of thing that you saw a lot,
well, there's only one state where this would be a regular occurrence.
There's always some naked guy in the mangrove.
They're still investigating the cause of the fire on Dieter's boat. Dieter is a convicted felon, and this will be his third DUI charge in the past 10 years. I got drunk with my dog on the boat. A fire happened, and after that, all I know is I was naked in the mangrove.
So you don't remember tossing the captain? What captain?
Wait, what?
Wait, who?
Everyone from Florida is stupid. Everyone from Florida is dumb. I might not be the brightest guy, but next to them my IQ's high. If they had guitars, here's how they'd strum. This is Dave and Darren's Top 5 Things, a podcast they did just for you.
You know, when you go to some bars and restaurants, there's a sign that says free beer tomorrow. They'll have those signs on the wall with little funny sayings.
Behind the bar.
Mm-hmm. Or there's the one where it's like, I'm not remembering the joke right, but it's basically, if you don't take care of your kids, we're going to give them coffee and a puppy or something. Like,
What?
What's the joke? It's like, if you don't watch your kids, we'll feed them coffee. I'm not telling that right.
No, that's...
I'm not good at joke signs.
Yeah, I don't see the humor in that sign.
Mm-hmm. There's a restaurant in Alabama that has had a sign on the wall. And I guess this is a deal that has been on the wall since the 1930s at Winsel's Oyster House in Mobile, Alabama. Do you say oysters or oysters?
I've never heard of oysters.
Well, let's call the whole thing off.
Who calls them oysters?
People.
Which people?
I don't know. It's in that song.
What song?
You say tomato when I say tomato. You say potato when I say potato, 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 tomato, tomato. Let's call the whole thing off. You call them oysters and I call them oysters. You've never heard that?
I didn't realize that was the second line.
Mm-hmm. So the deal on the sign on the wall since the 30s now, almost 100 years.
This is a deal that they live up to?
They finally have. The deal is a sign on the restaurant wall promised free oysters. Free oysters to any man 80 years old accompanied by his father.
Ah.
If you're 80 years old and you bring in your dad.
Now, who gets the oysters?
You get free oysters.
Dad doesn't, though?
See?
Doesn't sound like Dad does.
This family has been looking at this sign, and they've been eating at this place since 1972.
Yeah.
And the sign's been up the entire time. And for more than 50 years, this family's like, we're doing this.
Got to make it happen.
This is happening. An 80-year-old man finally cracked a...
How many free oysters do you get? Like 6?
A nearly century-old oyster offer at this restaurant in Mobile. Jimmy Rush said he had his 80th birthday all planned out.
I bet.
By finally cashing in on a promotion that has been hanging on the wall of this oyster house since he and his dad Jim began eating there every year before they would ride in the Mardi Gras parade. So they started eating at this restaurant in 1972, him and his dad.
Yeah.
He just turned 80. The sign says, free oysters to any man 80 years old accompanied by his father. Jim's other son, Carl, said the family has been talking about this deal for decades. So when his older brother turned 80, they made it a full family affair and went to collect.
And how old is Pops?
100.
Okay.
We felt like our dad was going to make it to 100 because he's in great health. We've been talking about this as a family for 25, 30 years. We are going to get this deal. Dad, need you to take care of yourself. I want those free oysters.
Well, I would think oysters could be good for you.
What's even better is free oysters.
How many? Doesn't say, huh?
This is Fox 10 News down there in Mobile, Alabama.
Jimmy, who just turned 80, brought in his 99-year-old father, Jim, and Wenzel's made good on its promise. The Rushmen love raw oysters. Although they grew up in Mobile, they live in Florida now. But coming to the downtown Mobile Wenzel's location is tradition.
I got to tell you,
Road trip.
The video of these guys in the booth eating the oysters, they're getting more than 6.
Good.
Oh, they're going after it.
Good.
My dad and I started riding in a parade at Mardi Gras on Friday nights, and so we would come down here on Friday afternoon and eat oysters, and that started in 1972.
On the walls, dozens of signs with quotes and witty jokes. But there's one that's been a decades-old obsession to Carl Rush.
That I can quote by heart. Free oysters to any man 80 years old accompanied by his father. So in seeing that sign, we
I can quote that by heart.
We all can.
felt like our dad was going to make it to 100 because he's in great health. So we've been talking about it as a family for 25, 30 years.
We'd asked the bartender if anybody ever done it. No one had. So, well, we'll be the first.
We're the number ones.
Carl's older brother, Jimmy, would be the first to turn 80. His father... You're the 80-year-old. And how old are you, sir?
That leaves me the other one. I'm 99.
Yep, Jim is 99 years old. And other than losing his vision, says he's in great health.
Except I've just been very lucky and very well taken care of through my God.
Well,
Well, there you go. Doing great.
as long as the mercury poisoning doesn't get you,
You know,
the oyster should be okay.
so they don't live in Mobile anymore.
Not anymore.
That would explain why they're eating as quick as they are. Because it's not like they can come in every day and get a free meal. If they were locals, they could.
Well, I don't. Do you only get it once, though?
That's not what the sign says. The sign says if you're 80 years old and you're accompanied by your dad, oysters are free.
Well,
So it's like, these oysters are only free while we're in town, boys.
They
Eat
might-
up.
They might need to move.
Now, this is 3 of the meetings, so I'm guessing the dad and the 80-year-old
They had
eat
to
for free.
purchase.
The younger brother in his 70s probably has to buy some.
To me, it doesn't sound like the dad gets to eat for free.
You don't think?
Well, what's the sign
It
say?
worked out. Yep.
The Rushmen turned the event into a huge celebration, inviting about 60 family members and friends to Wenzel's. Jimmy says it's been his
And we're just going to keep handing oysters to people.
Under the table.
Yeah, we're all going to get a deal here.
best birthday yet.
No,
I
there's
never
no
thought
mention.
about any birthdays except my 80th. That's the one I'm looking forward to.
Because of the sign?
Because of science.
Yeah, so he said, I don't know if you could hear him there, he's saying he really didn't care about any of his birthdays except for his 80th.
Yeah.
Since 1972, this has been the year that he's been like,
40, 50,
When I-
60, 70, none of them.
None-
None of them registered.
none of my business.
Who cares? No one cares. Birthdays are for kids.
Right.
But not this year.
But this year,
But there's no talk that
this year's something
there's
special.
no talk that the dad gets any free oysters.
Well, that seems kind of cheap, doesn't it?
Sorry. It's the sign.
We must honor the sign.
Start your day with 2 Quad City treasures. Dave and Darren in the morning on Planet 93.9.
Maryland man kept seeing the same numbers on license plates. So he thought, this is a sign. I should play these numbers of the lottery. And what do you know? He won $100,000. I need to start.
Is that anything you've done?
No,
Because you famously pay attention to people's license plates.
I'm always scanning. It's not about paying attention. It's about, I think if something happens, I need to be able to give the cops a license plate. Mm-hmm. I just feel like it's a civic duty. Like I need to be able to say.
Whereas I might be only be able to offer up, I don't know.
When you're on say an interstate and you see an Amber Alert and it tells you the make, the model, the color, the license plate, how long do you spend looking for that car? Do you forget about it almost instantly?
What do you mean you're looking for it?
Well, I will if I'm on the interstate and I see the sign that says, Amber Alert or Silver Alert. No, but I will.
You actively go looking for that car?
I will not get the number or the make out of my head until I've reached my destination. I look at every car to see, is that it? Like I can't stop.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if that's okay. I mean, I seem to be.
Did you ever miss your exit?
It has happened.
Yeah, I can see where it would.
Yeah. And I'm out there doing my...
or forget why you're even out there?
Yeah, what the... I didn't leave the house looking for a silver Honda Accord with Indiana license plates, but here I am. One of these days, it's going to happen, and I'm going to be the hero of a story. It'll be one attentive driver was able to, save the person's life, and I've already prepared a statement. Am I a hero? Gosh, I guess that's for you to say. I just did what anyone would do with whatever affliction I have in my brain that makes me scan license plates all the time.
But you haven't had like a Richard Dreyfuss moment in Close Encounters of the Third Kind where you're constantly seeing the same numbers.
No, that's the dream.
And then it's like, okay,
I have done sculptures with mashed potatoes, but that's a completely different thing.
I got to pounce on this.
Yeah. This guy said he was shopping before the holidays. He bought a pair of $1 Pick 5 tickets bearing a number combination he kept seeing on license plates. 25121.
Is it the neighbor's car across the street?
He said the numbers kept appearing to him on license plates. He says if you see a number 3 or 4 times, play it. You just might get it. Each ticket earned him a $50,000 prize for a grand total of $100,000. He had to wait until this week to visit lottery headquarters and claim his prize due to an injury. He said he had only told one other person about his good luck in the meantime. Quote, I kept it to myself, end quote. The money is going to allow him to pay off his medical bills. Oh, that sucks. And he'll also buy a used car with the $100,000. Well, I guess.
Was it like your wife's license plate number?
No, it was just a number he saw out in the wild.
Same car?
Different cars, Darren.
I'm not so sure about that.
I played these numbers. They kept coming to me. It's your home address. Oh, I guess it is.
Doesn't matter, does it? Doesn't matter how I won.
I got money for my injuries now. What do you think of that?
I don't know that there was any talk of injuries.
Meanwhile, in Ohio, a woman just won a $5 million prize from a scratch-off lottery ticket. $5 million.
That's about as big as you get, isn't it, for a scratch-off?
I can't imagine.
What does that cost you to buy a scratch-off that you could win $5 million?
This woman lives in Pickaway County, Ohio. She tells the Ohio Lottery she initially thought the ultimate $5 million scratch-off ticket that she got from a Kroger store was a $20,000 winner. Uh-huh. And she was very happy with the $20,000.
Sure.
But then she scanned her ticket, and it was actually a $200,000 winner. But then when she finished scratching it off at home, she discovered that she had actually scored the top prize of $200,000 per year for 25 years.
Nice.
So $5 million. I just keep getting more information about this scratch-off ticket, and I love it.
Man.
The
what a
jackpot
prize.
especially surprising to this woman because her husband had won $1 million on a scratch-off ticket a couple of years ago.
What gives?
No. So he won $1 million. She won $5 million. I wonder how much of the $1 million he shared.
Well, I wonder if he had a very, had a rule. This was my winning. And now
We did not win the lottery. I won the lottery.
Yeah.
She says the $5 million will allow her to retire.
Well, yeah.
She also says she's also going to fund an overnight stay in the Christmas Story house.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
That's the dream.
I hope it's not haunted.
Someday I'm going to win the lottery, and I'm going to spend the night in that house where Peter Billingsley had to wear that bunny costume.
All by myself.
And I'm going to put my tongue on the pole. It's going to be fantastic. She's also going to spend money on a trip to Florida to swim with the manatees, and she might go back to college. She says she'll also spoil her dogs and make some investments. Wow. Very detailed list
I
of
was going
things.
to say, we don't really need all this information.
The overnight stay in the Christmas Story house, how much does that cost?
Oh, what, a couple $100?
I would think they'd let you do it for free. If you want to stay in the house, overnight stays, it says there's no minimum stay requirement except holidays on which we are closed.
Well, a minimum stay there'd be no need for that.
Well, I would think you'd want to stay on Christmas, wouldn't you? No, we're closed on Christmas. Let me see here. If I wanted to book, it's for the entire month of March, they're only booked 2 nights.
There you go.
All right. I can get you.
Shouldn't be more than a couple $100.
Well, there's different suites. I can get you in one suite downstairs for $195 a night. There's another one upstairs for $245 a night. And then there's a loft for $600.
Oh, boy. Well,
Wow.
She can certainly afford it.
You basically get exclusive access to the house for an hour.
An hour?
And then you get to stay on the 3rd floor for the entirety of your stay. So that's like a bonus. You get to stay in the house, but also you get like the whole house to yourself for an hour.
So everyone else has to leave?
That's right. Everyone get out. We have this is our hour at the Christmas Story house.
We've got some running around to do.
I won the lottery. This has always been the dream.
It's a morning show that you listen to on your phone. How does that make sense? This is Dave and Darren's top 5 things.
There was a time in your life, I know, where you were very devoted to watching bass fishing on television. In fact, you made quite a little...
Well, I wasn't watching it on TV.
Where were you watching it? On a computer?
This would have been, computer, Daddy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Back the old FLW.
And this was because you were involved in fantasy bass fishing.
Fantasy bass fishing.
Please explain to the new listeners that glorious summer where would you get some sort of gift card?
Finished 9th.
In the country.
In the world.
Wow.
Yeah, and I got jobbed by Jimmy Houston by like a 1/10 of an ounce. That I could have finished as high as 2nd in the way I was thinking.
And that would have gotten you...
Oh, my God, thousands and thousands of dollars. I think as it was, I won $500.
Jimmy Houston is, in the fishing world, a TV host, right?
Well, he's something of a...
He spent years fishing in Tournament Leagues, Bassmaster, and FLW. So
FLW.
That's Fishing League Worldwide. Jimmy Houston finished in 83 events and came out as a top 10 finisher 3 times, but not when Darren needed it the most.
Well, no, he actually performed. He knocked one of my guys out.
He did it on purpose. A score was settled that day.
Yeah, they had all these different fishing tournaments, several throughout the course of the summer, and then you would pick your teams And then depending on how well they did, you received points, and you could have won a weekly prize or the overall prize. Mm-hmm. And I finished 9th one year.
You'd have never struck me as someone who was all that interested in bass fishing, and yet you had this gift
of picking the
winners.
Picking the proper fishermen.
Yeah. And then were you just so put off by your 9th place finish you never did it again?
No, they changed the rules on everything. They screwed it up. They had a perfectly good system.
It was a good thing going, and then
they changed the rules on everything, and it was just a disaster at that point.
Well, we have another story of an angler getting arrested during a bass tournament. This happened over the weekend in Texas on Sunday. Angler arrested and charged with violating fishing tournament rules. Officials with the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department say they arrested Curtis Lee Daniels.
Haven't heard of him.
After finding multiple weights inside a bass that he caught during the competition.
Uh-huh.
How do you not think they're going to find the weights? They're always going to find the weights.
Well, they're going to be suspicious of the weights because these people know their fish. And they can tell that fish, that particular size, doesn't weigh that amount.
Daniels booked into the Wood County Jail.
Yeah.
Charged with violating fishing tournament rules.
Drag him from the tournament to the jail cell.
Because the tournament was offering a cash prize of $10,000 or more, the charge is third-degree felony. He got released on Monday on a $20,000 bond. In an official statement shared with Outdoor Life, officials with the tournament say they were contacted by organizers to investigate a bass that Daniels had brought to the weigh-in. Tournament staff flagged the bass after using a metal detecting wand on the fish.
How do you not know that they're using that?
That alerted them to the potential presence of a foreign object. That raised concerns that Daniels had tampered with the fish before bringing it to the weigh-in station. After confirming the alert, wardens conducted a necropsy on the fish and discovered 3 weights in its stomach that showed no signs of erosion. Because it's possible a fish should just find a weight and eat it. Unlikely. Wardens also located weights of the same style and size in this guy's boat.
Well, once we do a study on the fish, let's get this fish to a deep fryer quick.
The arrest took place during the second and final day of the Lake Fork Lure Company tournament.
See, ours were 4-day events.
Held on Lake Fork and presented by Sealy Outdoors. Daniels was one of 564 anglers competing in the local tournament and vying for a cash prize of up to $11,500. The overall prize for the biggest fish caught in the event was $10,000, but there were additional cash prizes as well. Mm-hmm. Daniels works as a guide there on Lake Fork and fishes bass tournaments regularly. What kind of?
You had to pick teams of 10.
How's this going to work for you if you're a guide and your job is like taking people out fishing and you've been arrested for faking your fish totals?
Yeah, it's not good for business. Got a scarlet letter now.
Criminal record reveals that Daniels was convicted of a misdemeanor in 2019 for possession of slot limit black bass. Found guilty by a jury in 2019 and forced to pay $519.
I wonder if I was going to get picked for that jury, if I'd have to explain my background.
I should hope so.
My fantasy fishing background and success.
Your Honor, it has come to our attention that a member of the jury is a top 10 finisher in fantasy fishing leagues.
Your Eminence, it's true. They call me the Nuevo.
Well, it's very irregular, but I'll allow it. Wait a minute. Weren't you the gentleman that got hosed by Jimmy Houston?
Yes.
I've heard tell of your story.
By a 1/10 of an ounce.
Oh.
He knocked out one of my guys. Otherwise, I would have had an additional guy go to Sunday. go to the weekend, and that could have made all the difference.
So would you watch the events or just keep track of like when they would do the weigh-ins?
You'd watch the weigh-ins.
Okay.
You couldn't really watch the events. I mean, they might show some highlights.
There was a time in my life where on Sunday mornings, the Babe Winkleman show was appointment viewing. Oh man, we'd watch that Babe Winkleman like everything in the house had to stop because Babe was on. Oh, and look at this. He's up in the Finger Lakes.
Who
This
was
is
the
a
older
good
guy
episode.
that was before Babe Winkleman?
That had a TV show?
Yeah, it would have had a TV show. Probably would have showed up more in the afternoon on a Sunday or something. Precursor to Babe Winkleman.
That's a good question. Gary something.
No, it's not Gary. Gary anything.
Leo Stakos?
No.
Where would he go fishing?
If I heard the name, I'd know it.
Larry Dahlberg?
No.
Now this is going to bother me.
Somebody out there knows.
Okay, so he would go.
He was an older gentleman, or it seemed like it, because I was a kid.
So it's like a TV show, and you're right, because like Babe was like the younger guy.
Oh yeah, he was the young gun.
He was the voice of our generation.
Yeah, he was a young guy.
Who was Bill Dance Outdoors?
No.
I know the show you're thinking of.
What is it?
Thank you to the texter who sent this one in. Darren is thinking of the fishing show with Roland Martin and In Fisherman.
No, I don't think it's Roland Martin.
No? It's not Bill Dance Outdoors.
I don't think so. No, it's not.
Hank Parker's Outdoor Magazine?
And it's not
Fish in
Kurt
Canada.
It's not Kurt Gowdy and the American Sportsman either.
Are you sure it's not Roland Martin?
No, I don't think so.
In Fisherman with your host Doug Stange and Al Linder?
No.
Go Fishing with John Wilson.
Boy, there's a lot of shows.
Hank Parker's Outdoor Magazine? I'm telling you, it's Bill Dance Outdoors you're thinking of.
No, it's not.
All right. Well, if anyone knows what... Brian says Darren's thinking of Virgil Ward.
There it is. There it is. Virgil Ward.
Thanks, Brian. Virgil Ward was the fisherman Darren's thinking of.
That's who it is.
Oh, my gosh. And Scott says Virgil Ward.
Yeah, it's Virgil Ward.
And here's one. Thomas says Virgil Grissom.
No, Virgil Ward
Virgil Ward is the guy. Okay.
Yeah, that's the cat.
Virgil Ward.
Yeah, he was there before Babe Winkleman.
Right. Because Babe was like... It was like, who's this rock star out on the bass boat?
I gotcha.
When you've got...
the
Hi, everybody. I'm Virgil Ward.
The very slight Virgil Ward.
Welcome to Championship Fishing with Virgil Ward.
That's the one.
Oh, this is marvelous.
Oh, you're going to love it.
Oh, yeah, this is right up my alley.
From the lakes of northern Canada to the Gulf of Mexico.
Absolutely.
Wherever fish are biting, that's where we're gonna go.
That's where Virgil will
There's
go.
a lot of exciting country just waiting to be explored. So join us now in the great outdoor world of Virgil Ward.
That's
Championship
right.
Fishing with Virgil Ward, three-time world and national freshwater fishing champion and member of the Fishing Hall of Fame, is brought to you in part by Johnson Fishing
Oh, yeah,
Company.
it is.
And now, here's Virgil.
Oh, I didn't hear you come in.
Welcome to our show. We're glad you could join us for a bass fishing trip on Lower Bull Shoals Lake. After a couple of washouts due to stormy weather, Dan Galusha, outdoor writer from Milan, Illinois, and I finally found the bass and the weather cooperating at the same time. Dan does a lot of fishing, attends several sports shows, and writes for the magazine Midwest Outdoors. Our sponsor
From Milan.
Is Virgil going to be fishing here?
Well, I don't know if Virgil's still with us.
Well, this is an old episode, but
has
yes.
some of the finest products in the world. Let's take a look, then we'll be back to try our luck on those Bull Shoals bass.
We're fishing for bullheads.
This is the greatest.
That's what it was.
Now things make sense. Bring back
I don't think you can.
Is Virgil Ward no longer doing shows?
It's been a while.
This is like 1984, and he looks like this is his last show. Does Virgil sleep with the fishes? Yeah.
Hard to say.
He passed away in 2004.
Nice effort.
Yeah, he was 93 when he passed.
There you go.
Winner of the 1958 Regional Bass Competition, the 1962 World Series of Sport Fishing, the 1964 National Championship of Freshwater Fishing, and the 1964 Outdoor Writers and Broadcasters National Fishing Tournament.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, during the British invasion.
We're going to talk to a fellow from Milan, Illinois, and then we're going to go after them bullheads.
Uh-huh.
Awesome.
They taste just like a bar of soap.
There you go, that's the end. Like, subscribe, tell a friend, and join us soon for another Dave and Darren's Top 5 Things.
I just want to thank each and every one of y'all for all you've done to your bodies. It's still real to me, damn it!